play for the Lakers again. Hopefully this year they give me a contract.
You be
You know,
guaranteed.
yeah, that's
Number
that's the
one.
biggest thing.
Number
I
one.
don't want to play for free anymore.
Right.
This year was like, okay, I'll do whatever. But I think that I've earned a right to have an opinion on a contract for myself.
Right.
So that's the biggest thing. But I would definitely love to come back and play for the Lakers. Uh, the best fans in the world.
Yep.
It's been amazing. My wife plays for the Sparks, so it'd be great
Yep. I hear you.
for both of us to still be in the same city and play.
Oh, I'm sure that's big. Okay.
Yes.
And you brought up, how is married life for you?
You know what? I love it.
Mm-hmm.
I actually love it. It's new for me. I had never had a situation like that. But I'm very happy, and I think it's really just brought more peace, more happiness. But also just changed my life. When you have a really great woman behind you on your side, it just seems to make everything better. So I'm very grateful for her, and how she's just been like my rock and my foundation.
And it seems like y'all just have fun together. Like
All the time.
y'all just both be smiling.
All the time. We're like twins. It's just crazy. Like we definitely enjoy each other's company. She pushes me to be a greater person, and I just try to push her to reach new heights, and she's doing such an amazing job, and just try to be there for her in every way that I can.
And y'all work out together too, huh?
Work out together, eat together, cook together, pray together. We try to do as much things as we can together, and it's really good. I enjoy it.
That's good. That's a blessing.
Thank you.
Having a wife is a blessing. He who finds a good wife finds a good thing.
A great thing.
Great
Yes,
thing. I can definitely attest to that. Shout out to
and women are winning right now. Women are winning right now. So it's like, why not have a great woman by your side? They're going to lead you in the right direction. And I tell people all the time, the man might be the head of the household, but the body, the neck, the head can't turn without the neck.
That's right.
And my wife, I listen to her voice and the things that she's saying, the directions that we want to move in, and she's just been awesome, and I'm very thankful for her.
And it seems more one-sided. That Shaq has a thing with you and JaVale. I don't know what it is. I try to
You're right. It does.
I'm like,
yeah.
They don't say anything to him. Why is he always saying something about them? Is this some beef we don't know about, or are y'all?
I have no clue. That's it's crazy. When I first got to the team, me and JaVale was like talking to each other. And I was like, "Yo, did you do something to Shaq?" And he was like, "Bro, I don't know, man. Like, he's always talking about us." And I'm like, "Yeah, man, he is." And it's just crazy. I was like, "Man, let's jump him." And then we just laugh. But I just realized, that you can't please everybody. Everybody's not going to be happy with you and what you're doing with your life. And the way that you kill him is kindness. Instead of going back and forth with him and saying things, just stay locked in. Growing up, watching Shaq, I was happy because he was a big man, and he was killing everybody. And I still think he's probably the most dominant player to ever play the game. But I won't ever, if I had anything negative to say about him, I won't ever say that in the public eye or say that where people can hear it, because I don't think it's necessary. He has family, he has kids, and he has people who love him. And, I just wasn't brought up that way, So I respect him for all the work he's done. I wish we could play each other again so I could end this beef. But, I have a lot of love for him and the things he's done for the sport. And the way to beat him is to continue to play at a high level and not allow anything that's negative to seep in my ears, but just stay in focus.
That's great. That's a great philosophy. I was thinking back to it, and it was, the Superman thing. And I was like, did that kind of rub him the wrong way a little bit? Did he just want Superman only for himself? Like,
because I got the Superman, and it totally came from another source. It wasn't even Shaq. You know, it came from one day I was in practice, and I jumped over Bo Outlaw and dunked the ball. And everybody was like, man, you really like Superman. And I used to always do the Soldier Boy dance when he had the Superman song. So that's how Superman came from me. It was everybody always seeing me do the dance at home and in practice. And then once we got to the dunk contest, my cousin, he said, hey, man, you should put on the cape for the dunk contest because you be flying in the air. So I put on the cape in a Superman outfit. And that's where everything came from. It had nothing to do with Shaq or trying to be like him or anything like that. It was more so just because I love to dance and I jumped over somebody and I did the Superman dunk. That was
it. that's funny. Yeah. No, I mean, I don't know. Like every time I see it, I'm like, what is, like I said, it seems one-sided.
Yeah, it does.
So I don't hear y'all ever going back. So I don't know. Like you said, you kill somebody with kindness and you give him respect, and he's definitely, a legend, and, it's just leave it at that. I want to ask you something else, switching gears a little bit. Earlier this year, I wrote, during the bubble season, I wrote another article, and I said that Stephen A. Smith and Charles Barkley and a lot of the commentators, I said that they owed you, Kyrie Irving, and Avery Bradley in particular, apologies.
Yes.
And the reason, so you saw that too? So you watched a little bit.
Yeah.
So and I said that because, and just to tell everybody the background of the reason why I said that, they were really harsh with their criticisms of y'all when y'all suggested that since everything that was going on with police brutality, with social unrest, everything like that, that maybe basketball wasn't the number one priority. Y'all just suggested it. Y'all, what I mean? And they just lambasted you in the media. But during the bubble season, after Jacob Blake was shot multiple times in broad daylight, and all the players went on strike, then they were singing their praises. And Stephen A. Smith was like, oh, they're using their platform so, courageously and all that. I was like, wait a minute. I was like, okay, y'all owe them an apology. So that's why, and I wanted to ask you, did he ever address it with y'all? Did they ever apologize?
None of them did. Nobody said anything. And, it's crazy because it's not like we didn't want to play.
Right.
But we're looking at everything that has been happening in our society, and we're like, man, we got to do something about this. Like, we have the biggest voices out of any athletes. And, our thing was, hey, let's get the athletes together from WNBA, NBA, football players, baseball, artists, everybody that has a platform. Let's all try to get together and change this, because the one thing that's missing is unity. We've never been on the same page, or we've never been one unit, as a nation. We say United States of America, but are we really united? And, we wanted to start that whole front of, hey, we're going to be on the same page. We want to be united, and everybody killed us for it. And it was very upsetting. I was getting a lot of crazy messages from people, and, just hearing people talk about us. I'm like, dang, like, all we try to do is see us come together. I've been in the league for so long, and I've seen so many incidents happen back when Trayvon Martin died, and Floyd, and just all the people who have passed away from police brutality. And, our mindset was, man, something has to change. We've worn T-shirts, we've taken pictures, we've done all the things that look good on camera, but now it's time to get out there and really make some change. And, the one thing I wish we really did was get together with, the women from the WNBA, because they're powerful. A lot of the things that they've done and said has really motivated a lot of us. And, it's nothing, I think at this time, we all need to have, great women, in leadership, because they're not afraid. They're not afraid to say things, and they're not afraid to do things. And they're the backbone of everything. So, we were extremely, hurt by the things that people said, but, all in all, I think winning the championship, it brought some kind of togetherness. It still hasn't changed a lot of, you know, things, you know, globally, but you know, I know a lot of people felt like this championship that the Lakers won this year was for everybody, and I felt the same way. Uh, and you know, there's still more work to be done.
You know, it's interesting. I saw, and I made this comparison in an article I wrote for The Guardian, and I was talking about LeBron. And I was talking about how I made a comparison to Muhammad Ali. And the comparison I made was that the opposition is rooting for him to fail because they disagree with his message. And I haven't seen that to this level from anybody, you know, since Muhammad Ali. Did y'all feel that as well?
We did. You know, every day, you know, everything we saw is like so many people, you know, going back with LeBron and saying things, you know, just crazy. And I'm like, man, nobody can have an opinion in our society anymore or want to change something that they feel strongly about. And, you know, it's just upsetting when it's like, man, all we all want is change. And then all of us realize while we're in the bubble that the change that we really wanted started with us. You know, we want the world to change. We can't change the world. I tell people all the time, you can't change the ocean, but you can change the direction that you sail in the ocean. And, you know, that's how we, you know, take that approach. You know, we can't change everybody's opinion, but, you know, people will follow us if we're going down the right path.
So take me through what happened in the bubble, because there's been a lot of different reporting, a lot of different speculation. People getting facts wrong because that's what happens with media sometimes. But when everybody went on strike and they said the Lakers and the Clippers were two of the people that didn't want to come back, maybe they wanted to continue striking. But then you hear all these different stories and anonymous sources and all of that. Walk me through the process and then what came from that, because I want to know specifically what happened when the Board of Governors came and met with y'all. You know what I mean?
We was ready to go. Our team and the Clippers, we were ready to go because, you know, like I said, we tried all the other things. You know, we knelt during the national anthem. We talked about it. It's like, this is still happening and nobody's hearing us. So, you know, our team had a meeting and the consensus was, we out. Let's get together. Let's go and let's get on the front lines. And I would say by the end of that night, everybody was like, yo, we need y'all to play. We need everybody to come back. Because
when you say everybody, who was saying that to
y'all? Just other teams.
Okay.
People, Obama had called LeBron and told him what impact that, you know, we would have by playing and winning. You know, we made a big statement. I think once we set out, you know, everybody started to sit. You know, and say, all right, now we got to do something. You know, I think we got everybody's attention, and that was the biggest thing. You know, people are watching. They're watching us now, and you know, now it's about giving the right example. And I think the message that we got across the NBA and with all the fans and, you know, people around the world is, you know, these guys aren't playing. They really want to see change, and they're willing to do whatever it takes to see change. And, you know, I was very happy about that, you know, but we were probably 45 minutes away from packing our bags and everybody leaving the bubble. So, you know, it was a very close call.
You know, so let me ask you this. So when the different CEOs came, and I don't call them owners for obvious reasons, but the different CEOs came down and met with y'all. Adam Silver calls them the governors. So the Board of Governors met with y'all. What was the conversation like between you two? And how did they say that they were going to help?
Well, the conversation that we had was more so about what can they do to help us, and if they're willing to, you know, go the extra mile and to get people to vote and do stuff like that. That's where the conversation started. I, for one, felt like just getting everybody to vote wasn't enough for what is going on in our society. We need more change than just voting. But one thing that they did mention to us was how, you know, they felt like they needed to be more on a united front with all of us. And that was key, you know, because usually you see it's the owners and the players, and they're never together.
Right.
And, for the first time, I've seen most of the board of governors, they were on the same page as us. They're willing to do whatever it took to cause change in our society. So, I was very happy about that. And we had a very long conversation with, the board of governors. And that's why now you see the coalition that we have for, the NBA, and, how we plan on, basically using our voices and the owners to go in our cities and cause change in, each and every one of our cities.
Right. There you're talking about the Social Change Fund, right?
Yes.
That's what was formed from that. I had an interesting conversation with Mark Cuban, and I was his first draft pick that he ever made when he took over the Mavericks. So we have this relationship, and so I challenged him and a lot of different other CEOs to use their power in the specific cities where they are. So say for instance, Mark Cuban in Dallas, and he's a billionaire, with a B.
Yes.
So that's a whole different level of influence.
Whole different level.
So I was like, okay, if you have this power, you're rubbing elbows and in the circles with the police chief, with the mayor, with the governor.
Yes.
And I was like, so you could use your power. And I used the example of what happened here in Washington with the Washington football team, where Dan Snyder said forever he was not going to change the name. And then you had FedEx say, well, if you don't change the name, you're going to lose us as a sponsor. And then overnight, he changed the name. And I said, okay, so why don't you, Mark Cuban, and some of the other CEOs in the cities where you are, use that same influence and say, okay, if the police department doesn't adopt some of these sensible methods of police reform, you're going to lose funding. And I guarantee you'll see a difference. But I want guys to push for them to do more than just say, we're with you, Black Lives Matter, you know what I mean? Stuff like that. They're billionaires. They can have a lot of influence.
I definitely agree. I think that they should actually do more than what has been done. I think not only do they have a great voice, they have the resources.
Right.
And that's something that we, the people, in the communities, we need those resources, to elevate, our communities. It's very tough for us to do it. People look at all the players to be the ones to make the difference. Right. And yes, we have the voice, we have the platform, but we need that backing from the owners, like Mark Cuban and like Jeannie Buss. We need the owners to actually be the ones to make a stand with us and make the change, because they have the resources and they have the connections and stuff that maybe we can't get into some of those doors, or even if we get in those doors, we need people to help knock down those walls so we can actually start moving.
Right. And all of them kind of seemed open to working with you, right? From what I'm hearing, you just got to keep pushing them, right?
They seem open. That's
right.
Being open to it and actually working is two different things.
Right.
So I'm glad that they're open to helping us, but they need to actually, get down in the trenches with us, be on the front line, and help cause change, because we're at a new place in our society and we really need each other.
Right.
All of us are experiencing something that, we've never experienced before in this pandemic. And it's been really hard on a lot of families. And right now, the biggest thing is unity. Doesn't matter, what color, what race, creed, religion that you go by. Right now, unity is the most beneficial thing.
Now, at the time of the bubble, were a lot, because you heard about the conversations that was going on during that time. You heard Doc Rivers, who really stepped up in an amazing way to put, to have leadership and, have that role. Talk to me about the conversations that were going on, not only within your own teammates, but with other teams as well.
And we had I've been in the league for 16 years, and this year was the first time all of us have come together and had a conversation. And that says a lot, because I haven't seen it. And, I recall sitting down in front of the hotel with Joakim Noah. Me and him been knowing each other since we were 15. And the conversation that I had with him was, how all of us have to really put down our egos and our pride and come together. This is the perfect time. We never had this opportunity to where we're in one location playing basketball. We've always been separated in our own cities, doing our own thing, but now we're isolated for 3 months. What can we do together to cause change? And it started with having those conversations. So we all actually built some real good, friendships, just based off being in the bubble, which is very key, because it wasn't a lot to do in the bubble. We were really just stuck to our hotel. We couldn't use none of the amenities of Disney World. So the best thing we could do was talk. And so we spent a lot of time talking, not just the players, but, we would see the referees, which for me was like, man, I don't want to talk to no referees. They've been giving me bad calls my whole life. I hate them. But we had a great opportunity to talk with the refs. Not only the refs, but the people who work, for the NBA that we never really get a chance to see. We had a chance to see these people for the first time. We all actually had great conversations. And I think coming out of the bubble, everybody has this new sense of, I would say this newfound love and appreciation for, everybody that was in the bubble, because, it's very tough for all of us to be away from our families, our friends, and our loved ones for so long, especially during the pandemic.
Right. And you're talking about the bubble. What is the system that they're going to use going forward? Like I know that they had discussions and they had dates, and I saw everybody just voted to start December, whatever it is.
22nd, yeah.
22nd, right. But they haven't talked about what system they're going to use. And that's what I keep
hope it's not the bubble.
It's not a bubble.
I hope it's not the bubble.
But they haven't said either way, though, right?
They haven't. Thank you. It would be very hard to play without fans again. That was part of the hardest part for all of us, just playing with nobody in the stands. And I, for one, hope that we don't have to deal with another bubble. But the
coronavirus numbers are going up everywhere right now. So I don't know how they're going to bring back fans. I don't know. Like, I'm just looking for a plan, and I haven't heard any plan yet.
Play outside. Make the arena, open the arenas up to almost like how the football games be, at least so we can feel like just not having fans was so hard, because in the games it's quiet. You can hear everything. You can hear people's feet moving on the court. You can hear all the conversations behind the scorer's table. You can see the cameras. You can hear the cameras around the arena snapping pictures and rolling things that you could never hear playing with fans. So it was kind of like a whole new experience for all of us, and you really had to bring your own energy. So if you didn't bring energy, it was dead. It was lights out for you. So,
but you brought energy, like y'all. I would say you and JaVale, like the whole Lakers team, y'all was bringing energy. You know what I mean? Caruso on the sideline, everybody. So y'all brought it. I just worry because, as far as the coronavirus concerns, I want everybody to be safe. And that's why I keep hearing, okay, what's the formula? What's the plan? What kind of, protocols are we going to be using? Because I look at the NFL, and they always having positive tests, positive results.
See, that's the thing, I understand the NBA doesn't want that. But it's just so hard to not have these fans. We missing. For myself, fans give you kind of like a sense of energy when you're playing in front of us. Like, man, all these people came to see us play basketball. This is a great feeling. So I would go out there and put on a